The mountain where the storm castle stands was named after the legendary dragon, who reigned over the lands for millennia before losing a battle against the first patriarch of the Run-Candle clan. It was clear that they weren't actually enemies. The contractors of gods are always assigned a guardian dragon, which is why people wondered about the disappearance of the dark dragon. They didn't know he was residing in its deep slumber. Jin wonders if he's found himself a guardian dragon upon the dragon's awakening. Thanks to his human form, he's able to chat with him and get some of his questions cleared. Jin frequented the library for months after the dragon's awakening. He wanted to know the reason Tamar and Murakhan fought each other. The silly dragon doesn't recall the real reason as he forgets. More importantly, he's found an obsession with strawberry pies. Jin tells him that he prepares copies of the original books in the library. Unfortunately, he doesn't know about most of the content. Murakhan is still impressed by the boy's perseverance, as any other child would have given up easily. The boy explains that he's just average for a Run-Candle. He has a dozen older siblings as well as amazing people like his parents. Jin has great ambition and wants to surpass them. He questions how much Tamar understood at the same age, since this guy is supposed to be the strongest man ever recorded in history. Jin was curious how close he was compared to that guy. The dark dragon told him that even someone like him couldn't have ever understood a single sentence at his tender age. Tamar didn't read books to become strong. Murakhan emphasizes that the boy possesses mad talent just like the first patriarch. Jin wonders if he will compare to the flames of Tamar's powers. Murakhan consoles him to train and become strong with time so that he can compare and even perhaps surpass the strengths of the founding patriarch. To entertain him, Murakhan tells him about Soldaret's second name. The god of shadows is also called Soldaret the Infinite because his powers know no bounds. That also means that the boy's powers hold sky-high potential. To encourage him, Murakhan decides to teach him a new trick, an attack called the Shadow Force Release. This skill is critical for anyone mastering the Shadow Force. It imposes a risk to its wielder, so Murakhan advises the boy to master it well. Murakhan instructs him to release his mana. Jin is confused, so he explains that two skills determine the release of Shadow Force. The first is mana release and the second is mana transfer. The skill requires at least 3 years of mastery, but that's a duration too long for the boy. Murakhan refuses to teach him advanced techniques without the basics. Jin absolutely stumps him with a perfect mana release, which honestly looks like a Rasengan. He's also capable of using mana transfer for some reason. Murakhan is shocked because he's just found himself a genius pipsqueak. With both conditions met, he's ready to show the boy the skill Shadow Force Release. Since all shadows are born out of Soldaret's powers, it implies that he's the master, while Jin is the only contractor. The library is filled with dark shadows, as Murakhan reveals that Jin could also become the master of the shadows. Jin is impressed seeing the might of his magic in full display. The scene cuts to the flag-bearer Luna, who is nearing the completion of her mission. Estimating 4 months to be the completion target, Luna stands amidst the dead monsters while wondering what her younger brother would like as a gift. 6 months after Murakhan awakened, Haytona and Daytona left the castle after turning of age. That leaves the young master, who receives a celebration cake from Jilly on his 9th birthday. The kind young master wants everyone to enjoy the cake. Khan the Snitch makes his sudden appearance, apologizing for his sudden message. Lady Luna, the boy's older sister, has come for a personal visit. Rising as the first flag-bearer of the clan, an excellent knight and the eldest of all the siblings, Luna Run-Candle is the strongest among the heirs. She stands different from the rest, uninterested in pursuing the path of the patriarch. Luna doesn't care about her siblings. She treated him like a nameless stranger in his original life. So now, it seems strange that this distant sister of his has come to pay him a visit. Jin wonders if something happened with the clan. He's even afraid that his sister might have discovered his secret visits to the library. Luna pats her little brother and treats him with unusual kindness, even caring for his condition. Jin states that he feels guarded by her sister. Luna thinks that her brother believes they're enemies, and that she sees him as an outsider aiming for the throne. She feels frustrated with the thought and consoles her baby brother. Luna apologizes, kneeling down to pay her little brother proper respect and a request to speak in private. Jin is stumped with such a request and meets her with a smile. When they're both alone, Luna states that she hurried home for an important matter. Since Jin's sudden rising, the rest of their siblings are keeping a strict eye on him. This means that they could act against the boy when he leaves the storm castle. The once cold and distant sister expresses her fear that Jin might lose his happiness amidst their family's trifles. She despises the traditions of the Run-Candle clan. Her words make Jin realize why Luna stopped pursuing the path of the patriarch. But she failed to mention such words in his past life. Jin wonders if he wasn't worthy in his original life to hear such consolation. But it's also because his sister is worried that Jin's siblings could threaten him soon. He forms his response, refusing to step away from the fight against his brothers. Luna emphasizes that she's not advising him for her own sake. Her baby brother acknowledges the fact, and even claims that he faced the threat of assassination once. Met with this surprising revelation, Luna taps into her terrifying powers, furious that someone could even attempt to hurt her brother at the Storm Castle. She tries to ask for the assassin's name, but Jin tells her that he doesn't know, and that he's fine for now. The boy is happy to learn that he has earned empathy from one of his siblings. Luna embraces Jin, apologizing for the troubles of their family tradition that come with the Run Candle clan. Embracing her like this, Jin had no idea his sister could be so kind. Luna doesn't want to stomp on his birthday celebrations and offers him an adequate gift. It's a blue pendant. She tells him to turn around. The necklace is capable of summoning Luna once after being shattered. She wants Jin to use it when he's in a sticky situation. Luna is happy for her brother's birthday, and they proceed to have a loving celebration. Unfortunately, she has to head back to her duties. She bids him farewell. Later, Jin shows up to the library with the necklace, surprising Murakami as the necklace is an invaluable treasure. This treasure once belonged to the Demon Beast King, an item that many people risked their lives for. It also grants immunity to the wearer against inferior spells, as well as enhancing one's own. Jin explains that his eldest sister gave him the pendant. What's more is that he's shocked to learn that Luna probably already sensed Murakami's energy. But she won't tell the clan because she cares about her little brother's well-being. Coming back to Luna, she knows something is up between Jin and Murakami. But she chooses to trust in his powers and support her little brother no matter what becomes of him. Jin thought that the first 10 years of his life would be slow and boring at the castle. But in this short time, he learned a lot. He received gifts and benefited from his relationships after meeting amazing people. These were the things his past self dreamt about. The day finally came when the boy turned 10 years of age. He fought against Khan in a sparring session, preparing to leave the castle. The boy's incredible strength at this age impressed the guardian knight, who realized why the patriarch remained interested in the youngest child. Jin boasted the eyes of an instructor who was trying to see if Khan was a fit as his teacher. Concluding their training for the day, Khan pays his respect to the young child. He can only train the boy until he leaves the Storm Castle. Jin is ready to meet his expectations. There came a point where Jin felt immune to flame thanks to the phoenix's heart he received from Mary. He is thrilled to find that some of his powers have started taking into effect. It's only a matter of time until he absorbs the phoenix's powers. Jin is to leave the Storm Castle the upcoming day. Jilly spots his books and is instructed to pack them for his reading session. As usual, the boy requests strawberry pie as his snack. He heads out for a walk at an unusual timing. The boy arrives at the secret library to meet Murakami. The Dark Dragon had anticipated this day to come. Jin wonders how they'll keep in contact. But the dragon isn't worried about such an insignificant problem. Even though he's weaker than his original state, Murakami explains that he can recover his strength when Jin can become stronger, as he's a guardian dragon. Murakami wants the boy to grow up just like Tamar. Jin asks an important question about the clan. Soldaret once told him that the Runkendel clan shared a history of being a spellsword clan, and the first patriarch is noted as the greatest spellsword user in history. However, this history is lost in the myths as the clan only prioritizes swordsmanship in recent times. The reason they object to magic is because of a pact that was made 1,000 years in the past. While they regarded Murakami as their guardian in the past, it's clear they might hate him in recent times. It's a shame because the boy would have drowned in riches for reviving him in the previous era. Then again, it's his shitty clan, so there's a chance that it wouldn't happen. Murakami assures him that he'll track the boy no matter where he goes. As for his capsule, he's planning to keep a hallucination of himself. A hallucination so powerful that they won't be able to see through his deception. The hallucination isn't going to hold for long because of the dragon's waning powers. However, Murakami plans to maintain the hallucination for until the time he becomes an adult. He's brought Murakami a special treat for celebration. The Dark Dragon fawns over the invitation to get drunk and enjoy the party. He's even ready to become acquainted with Jilly if it means more strawberry pies. As Jin is preparing to leave for his clan's family home, he is warned how busy his life is going to get. Jilly can no longer service the boy with her delicious meals, but she's ready to serve him when the time arises. Jin is welcomed by the Guardian Knights Jerome and Holtz for his escort. They begin their travels. It's the end of the 18th century, as Jin finally leaves the Storm Castle to head to his family home, the Garden of Swords. They're met with heavy snowfall along the way. Unfortunately, they won't be able to use a portal under such a condition. Suddenly, the carriage comes to an abrupt stop as Jerome and Holtz warn Jin to stay inside the carriage. The carriage is under attack, but Jilly is confident in the strengths of the 7-star knights who will guard them with their might. However, they are outnumbered, fighting 20 men to 1. Jin realizes something critical and immediately tells her that they must leave as the Guardian Knights have secretly betrayed them. This means they're working with traitors or imposters, which also implies there's something wrong with the carriage. Jilly is frustrated and brings out her full power to protect Jin for the sake of the clan. The carriage explodes as they make their narrow escape. Jilly wants to take responsibility for this incident, but Jin reminds her that more important things are at stake, starting with the fact that the people attacking the knights could actually be their allies instead of enemies. Jin is surprised that they let them escape, which causes much suspicion on their intentions. The Yuta clan, as well as the sorcerers of the Mytel kingdom, and the black mercenary group are all here to guarantee the boys' safety. After locating the two of them, Vice Captain Merca explains his duty to protect Jin. As for Jerome and Holtz, they're struggling to fight such a number. This is because they are imposters who aren't even 7-star knights. As they are surrounded by the group, the devious man states that he isn't going to say a word to a Runkendel servant. Jin, being cold as always, commands one of them to be killed to make the other one talk. Jilly charges with incredible speed, severing one of the men with her sharp attacks. With him defeated, she precisely slashes both arms of the second imposter, inflicting him immeasurable pain. With both his arms severed, Jilly stands the victor of the fight and drags him before Jin. They underestimated Jilly's protective powers. Despite being a maid, she is a loyal 7-star martial artist. Whoever targeted Jin's assassination should have sent higher-level knights for the job. The limbless punk warns them that the age of Runkendels will come to an end. Surprisingly, Jin agrees with him. Because this midget is so full of himself, he cares about making a name for his own good instead of the good of the clan. The imposter blurts out his association with Zyphals, a sorcerer clan that rules a big part of the world. They're the rivals of the Runkendel clan, and they only strive to reach mastery in magic. After Timar's death, the Zyphals clan forced them to sign a pact forbidding the use of magic. That ensured all magical powers of the family were permanently sealed. The Zyphal clan became the direct enemy of the Runkendels for more than 1,000 years. This clown imposter is one of their pawns. Jin doesn't think he's useful, so he lets Jilly handle the rest. The man is begging to be killed, but Jin isn't so kind. He's reflecting on what could cause such an attack. More importantly, the boy believes a Zyphal extremist attacked them instead of the clan itself. What's more is that Jilly was fooled by their disguise. It means someone else is involved in doing such dirty work. The boy offers his gratitude to the vice captain of the knights for saving his life. He's prepared to tell his clan everything so the man could be rewarded properly. Merca is stunned because the 10-year-old boy does not sound like a normal child. Thinking back on the boy's words, Merca wonders if Jin really wants to achieve the goal of becoming the best. He tells his men to behave around Jin. It is time to continue their journey. When asked about the imposter, Jin states that he wants his body to be a good reminder to his allies. Unfortunately, they have to travel 2 hours by foot to reach the nearest village. Jin doesn't want Jilly to share the blame of what occurred, as even Khan, who is a 9-star knight, failed to break through their deception. Jilly is still bothered about what happened and apologizes to the young master. For the Runkendels, their nanny is single-handedly responsible for taking care of the child. Jilly was the same in his past life. But unfortunately, they gave her slack for the talentless boy she was assigned to raise. Jilly was so kind that she never blamed Jin. She was expelled from the clan the same day he was, and even on that very day she apologized for failing him. She was the only devoted person he knew in his life. Jin wants to prepare her for the future to come. This woman can't stop blaming herself. So Jin takes a frustrated twist and emphasizes that she's the only trustworthy knight for his protection. Later, Jilly thinks about the boy's scolding. She recognizes that he didn't want her to feel bad. Fortunately, she's ready to perform at her best to impress him. Arriving at the village inn, Jin thinks that it's almost certain the Transfigurator got involved. Gubar Gaston specializes in exercising an ability of dragons called Transformation. He performed a greater transformation ability than even monsters, allowing many crimes to occur throughout the world. Jin thinks that with that man's involvement, things could shape up to become problematic. He remembers Bubar's chaos coming to an end when he was arrested in his previous life. The boy wonders if he should try and recruit the man in this life, even though he was nearly assassinated by one of his schemes. Jin is exhausted and ultimately crashes in his bed. Jilly puts him to rest. When Jin wakes up, he realizes that it must be his harsh training taking a toll on his body. There is an annoying cat hanging around his window. My boy suddenly realizes that this dumbass is actually Murakhan. This dude turned himself into a damn cat to follow him around the world. Murakhan gets angry and hisses at him. Jin allows him to come inside, but he's still frustrated. He turns to his human form to scold the boy, but he's so clumsy the fool crashes into his desk. Jilly instantly barges in to check on Jin, and then she discovers the intruder. She's ready to kill this guy before our boy even has a chance to speak. Murakhan suddenly remembers it was Jilly who baked him strawberry pies. Basically, he's just found his lottery ticket. Jin is out here dreading his life.